How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Monster Territory, brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. And the Red Sox offense remains red hot. You know, I'm not trying to be that guy here. But everyone was freaking out when Rafi got traded. You know, you're dropping some games over the next week or so after that. Everyone's worrying about the offense, but this offense is looking ridiculous here over the last couple of games. They've been putting up a lot of runs here over the past week. You got to love what you're seeing from this offense. Now, of course, is this lineup better without Rafi Devers? Absolutely not, but it's given guys opportunities to step up here, and you're seeing someone like Romy Gonzalez really stepping up for the Red Sox here. Rob Refsnyder contributing today. Roman Anthony's been looking very solid as of late. Trevor Story with the big game yesterday on July 4th. Cedar Rafaela continuing to be one of the most underrated players in all of baseball. Again, this is not a better offense without Rafi. Obviously, anyone would like to have Rafi in the lineup, but it's great seeing what these guys are doing, and that's without Alex Bregman. That's without Masataka Yoshida. You gotta love it here today. Red Sox win with a final 10-3. 10 runs, 11 hits on the board, only 6 strikeouts. Add another win to the win column when the Red Sox strike out under 10 times. I believe they're now 31-15 when they strike out less than 10 times. 7 runs again. They put up a 7 spot yesterday, and they do it again here today in 1 inning. Remember, they put up a lot of runs against the Reds earlier in the week, too. So, this offense, man, they're just coming in chunks here. You got to love it. Player of the game here. Player of the game for me, I'm going with Romy Gonzalez. 3 for 5 today, had a couple of doubles, couple of RBIs. You know, hey, when you got this guy in the lineup against left-handed pitching, you always feel pretty comfortable. Him and Rob Refsnyder, man. The double R's, you got to love it, man. The R brothers. We need a nickname for Romy and Refsnyder. We need to figure out a nickname for them because those guys, they come through so much against left-handed pitching, man. Gotta love what Romy Gonzalez did here today. And Walker Buehler, we'll get into his outing here, but Walker Buehler here today, 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 strikeouts. Looked a lot better here today. Definitely a step in the right direction. You know, he talked about his mechanics in his last outing or after his last outing, saying, he's getting there, right? I believe last time he said he felt like he was around halfway to, feeling at his best. A guy that's trying to work through some things. Was he perfect today? No. But it's a step in the right direction, and you gotta love it. You gotta love it, man. Especially when the offense is giving him a nice cushion to start things off, right? Buehler, to me, is this going to be an overnight turnaround? No, but gotta say, he looked a lot better. His mechanics were looking better today. Just the windup looked better today. Just looked like he was moving better, looked more confident out there. We'll get to the pitch mix in just a little bit. Again, not a perfect day for him. There were some things I still didn't quite like, but some things I liked as well. Shout-outs when it comes to the offense here today. Seti, 2 for 4, home run. Cedar is hot, man. Cedar is red hot. You know what? I actually got some numbers pulled up. Let's get to Cedar. Let's see. What are the numbers looking like here? Man, this guy's just swinging a hot bat here. 321. Hitting 321 over the last 7 games. A 750 on the slugging. 2 homers over the last 7 now. The guy's been great, right? Had a good game yesterday. Man, gotta love it, man. Like I said yesterday, especially with what he brings to the table on the defensive side, he's going to give you some speed. A guy that is more than capable of being an all-around player in this game, man. Gotta love what Seti's doing here. Jarren Duran with his 10th triple today, batting a little lower in the lineup. Had a triple off a lefty. Sure, Mitchell Parker's, not Garrett Crochet by any means, but hey, still producing against lefties. He has struggled against them. Roman had a couple more hits today, had an RBI. And Nate Eaton, I saw a lot of people freaking out that Nate Eaton was leading off here today. To me, it's like, all right, why not? He's a righty bat. Going up against a lefty pitcher, a guy that's got some speed, tends to hit lefties a little bit better. I was fine with it. It's like, well, why not? I saw a lot of people freaking out about it, but he ended up scoring the first run here today, had a double later on. So, hey, Nate Eaton, shout out to him. Hey, the bullpen today, they had a nice big lead to work with, but Hey, they came in, shut it down here today. A lot of good things to talk about. It feels good when there's a lot of positive things to talk about. I hate coming on here and just complaining all the time and being all grumpy and mad all the time. I don't like that. I like talking about the positives. But let's get to the post-game reaction here, or the post-game coverage here. If you can, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. We are very close to hitting 4K subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. We're this close. Help us get there if you are new, if you are looking for Red Sox coverage pretty much every day. But before we do get to the post-game breakdown, we do have a word from our sponsor. I'll be right back. Welcome to the DraftKings Player Spotlight. And if you've never bet on baseball before, well, it's easy. You just pick a guy to go yard, you hammer some live odds mid-game, or you can just ride with your squad and hope for the best. No spreadsheets, just vibes and dingers. Now, my player that I'm going to focus on today is Trevor Story. This guy is absolutely red hot. Went 4 for 5 in the opener against the Nationals on the 4th of July. In his last 7 games, he's hitting .481, a .517 on base, and .852 on the slugging. And it's not just over the last 7, it's over the last month. Remember, he had a dreadful May, but he's completely picked it up since then, hitting .316 over his last 30 with a .350 on base and a .544 on the slugging. Now, for me on DraftKings, I'm going to go with total bases. Now, as of right now, for Trevor Story, he has a plus 105 odds to get 2+ total bases. But with how hot he's been, I like those odds a lot. This guy has been red hot. Now, all you got to do is just download the DraftKings Sports app and use the code FOUL. That's code FOUL, F-O-U-L, for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you just bet $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
All righty, let's get to it, shall we? Let's get to it. We got a lot of offense to get to here. I'm just going to go over mostly the big inning. That's where most of the runs came from anyway. But like I said in the intro, Nate Eaton leading it off today. People were thinking, who is Nate Eaton? Why is he leading off? What is going on here? But hey, he got it started here today. Reached on the error, but then Romy coming through, first double of the game. Eaton scored all the way from first base. That's the speed this guy has. I believe he was at least a 55 grade when it came to his speed on Baseball America. It might have been a 60, I can't remember, but you can always count on that with Eaton. A guy that can play multiple positions as well. Ref Snyder then coming through with a double of his own. That scored Romy, made it 2-0. But then all the damage came in the third inning. And a lot of this damage came with 2 outs. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. Romy, second double of the game there. Roman with a base hit. That made it 3-0. And then Ref Snyder Narvaez making a couple of outs. So you're thinking, okay, all right. Got another run on the board. Good to go. But all of a sudden, they exploded with 2 outs. Story with a base hit. Duran with his 10th triple. That made it 5-0. Toro reaching on an error. Just got by Mitchell Parker there. I don't know what happened on that one. I don't know. But that made it 6-0. Seti adding on another home run. How many home runs is that for Seti now? That is now his 10th home run. He is at 10 home runs and 11 stolen bases. I think we actually have a shot at Seti. I mean, I think he's going to get to 20 stolen bases. I don't think that's out of the question. Can he get to 20 home runs? Either way, he's got a good shot, I think, at a 2020 season. Could he get 2025? We'll see. We'll see. Seti, 10th home run on the year. That made it 8-0. Romy, a base hit. That made it 9-0. A lot of offense there, and all with 2 outs. You got to love that, especially a team this year where, they've had their troubles, with 2 outs, with runners in scoring position, but they just kept it going today, man. Kept it going. Zachary, could he pull 30 stolen bases? I mean, he's at 11 right now. We're a little more than halfway. I think probably 2025. Well, who knows? Maybe gets a couple of games where he gets a couple of each. He really starts adding on. We'll see. whatever it is, I just want Seti to stay healthy. And that's one more thing I do want to add. He did leave the game late. Took a tumble between second and third. It did like a barrel roll out there. It was actually like a nice looking roll from Seti there, right? It looked pretty good, but he was a little banged up on that one. And there was another play out in center field, and he ran into the wall a little bit. So he took a bit of a beating in this one here today. Ended up leaving, but Cora said after the game that he was feeling fine, good to go. He'll be all right. I do wonder if we see him in the lineup tomorrow. Something to pay attention to. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up taking a seat tomorrow because you got Crochet on the mound. So maybe the Red Sox think, well, okay, we got our pig on the mound. Maybe we can, try to rely on Crochet getting us some zeros on the board, and we'll let all the other guys try to pick up the slack. So I'm going to make a prediction on that. I feel like Seti is not going to play tomorrow. But that was it for the offense, pretty much. You added on a couple more later on. But, hey, good day for the offense. The offense has been banging as of late. But let's get back to Walker Buehler here. Again, not a perfect day by any means. 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs. 2 of them were earned, 2 strikeouts. Now, looking at Buehler's performance here today, it was a step forward. He seemed more comfortable. He seemed more confident out there. I don't know, just something with the windup, something with the mechanics today. Just looked a little bit more smooth. He didn't seem as locked up to me. Just had a bit more of a better tempo. And that's what he told me back in Tampa, when I interviewed him live pregame. He said, tempo was something he was working on. It just seems like there's a lot of things he's working on. Now, sure, we could all look back to the postseason that he had last year. He got the final out in the World Series, and I think people focus on that. You got to remember, going into the postseason, he was not looking all that great. He figured it out for a stretch there. It was a stretch, right? It's a month of baseball, basically. He's had that this year where he had himself a pretty good stretch as well before he went on the IL. So I think with Buehler, we've seen this with guys that, they get Tommy John, they come back, they go through their ups and downs. Hopefully we're starting to get out of one of those downs and we're getting into an up, and hopefully it stays a bit more steady. But I've been saying here the last couple of, last week or so, this is a guy that he's pitching for a spot in the rotation, but the Red Sox, they felt something good with him, and they felt like, even he said himself, feels like he was getting a little bit closer. But at the end of the day, it's a results-oriented business. So, sure, he can keep working towards it, but if he's going to keep getting hit hard, well then, at some point you had to make some kind of a move. But today, he helped himself out a lot. Again, not perfect. What I liked about his outing today is he led really with 3 pitches. I've been saying here a lot, this guy's got to go with the sinker. It's been a great pitch with him. It's been his best pitch, according to the numbers. Didn't really lean with it too much today, though. He worked it in, but he stuck with 3 pitches for the most part. Fastball, cutter, and the knuckle curve. I will say this about the knuckle curve. That looked like a pretty good pitch today. And he threw it a lot more than he did in his last outing. So, again, he's doing this thing where he kind of goes back and forth with different pitches. It seems like he's still trying to find what's comfortable for him. Now, sure, I say the sinker, it's been a good pitch, right? Maybe he's not fully feeling comfortable with the grip or something. I don't know. The results speak for themselves, but maybe he's not quite feeling the pitch so much. I'm not so sure what it is, but the fastball and the cutter, those have not been good pitches for him. Now, it's not necessarily just because of the pitch themselves that's where you run into trouble. It's more about when are you using them, what counts are you using them, are you locating them? There were a couple of pitches today, a couple of cutters, got base hits off of them. Fastball got hit hard. That happened. What inning was that? That was in the 4th inning. Was that the 4th inning? Can't fully. Oh, no, this is the 2nd inning. Gave up a hard hit ball to Lyle. That would have been a double off the bat. But Jarren Duran, the speed that he has, he really helped him out in the outfield. So again, he was giving up a decent amount of contact today with the cutter, with the fastball as well. But for the most part, he limited the hard hits. He limited the exit velo. He did get a lot of weak contact today. So he got some help from the defense. There was a bit of a messy inning, the third inning. Toro had an error. Romy had a throwing error as well. Luckily, we score a bunch of these runs. When those plays happen in the tight games, we all freak out. But when you get a nice little cushion, it's okay. But, a couple errors there didn't really help him out. But he was able to work his way around those for the most part. What I did like is he got off to a good start. 1-2-3 first inning. Second inning got a little bumpy. Like I said, a couple of cutters, base hits, fastball, hard hit ball from Lyle. Durant helped him out. Fourth inning, though, gave up some more base hits here. Nate Lowe, Bell, Lyle all had a base hit, but then he struck out Brady House with a sinker on the outside. Just nibbled that outside. Then he got Ruiz and then Young to fly out. So he was able to work around it. Fifth inning, clean inning. That was another good thing. He started well and he ended well. That's what I like as well, is that he can kind of go into this little stretch here with some confidence, right, before his next start. Because he ended his outing very well today. Abrams struck him out on a curveball in the dirt. A couple of ground outs after that. So hopefully he's found a bit of a formula. But this is what I've been saying. And Lou Merloni said this on the broadcast as well. What picture are you? What are you working with? What are your main pitches you're going with? Because we've talked about this before. He throws like a million different pitches. Sometimes like 7, even like 8, it looks like. I could be wrong on that. It's a lot. When you go look at the pitch breakdown, it's a ton of different pitches. So that's what I like today. He threw 5 total, I believe, but he really just stuck with those 3. I would like to see more sinkers. I know that sounds very tiring hearing me saying that constantly. But either way, I think we're moving in the right direction with Walker Buehler. And like I said, bullpen, Greg Weissert, Bernardino, Alcala holding it down. Weissert, nice to see him have a bounce-back outing. Remember with the Reds, gave up the grand slam to Christian Encarnacion Strand. So nice to see him bouncing back. Did give up a hit, though. Bernardino with a couple of good innings. Alcala shutting it down. So overall, hey, pretty solid day. Pretty solid day. Before we get to the Game 3 preview, we got one more word from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
All right, Harry's is going to get an award here, MVP in the shaving world. And AJ, if you want to equate it to things that we talk about, it's not expensive. And it's super versatile, right? The company itself, because there's other products that you can get on the site, deodorant, body wash, etc. But for your everyday shaving needs, Harry's has you covered. And you look at the pricing, you look at the quality, and you're like, wait, why was I using the old classic brand for a long time?
Listen, as somebody right now that needs a Harry's, I've just been lazy. Harry's, I have plenty of them lined up, ready to use. You can use them for more than one shave, which is huge for me. And the pricing is right. I got to go get my Harry's because my neck beard is sick. But Harry's will fix that. It'll line me up straight. It'll no bumps, no cuts. It's exactly what I need for a great price.
That's right. Get the edge on your shave with Harry's. Normally their trial set is $10, but right now you can get it for just $6 at harrys.com/foul. That's our exclusive link, harrys.com/foul, for a $6 trial set.
Let's get to the Game 3 preview. And ladies and gentlemen, listen, I've always said this. What you want is the series win. That's what you want. But I really want this sweep. You know why I want this sweep? Well, obviously I want to win games. But you go back to the Reds series. That was a series that you looked like you had in the palm of your hand for a good old sweep. And they couldn't close the deal. I want to close the deal here tomorrow. You got the War Pig, Garrett Crochet on the mound, one of the top pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. Hey, we got the All-Star game coming up. Is he going to be starting the All-Star game? I don't know. I think it's going to be him or Scooble. I think it's going to be close. But Crochet. Now, he did have a bit of a bumpy outing his last time out. Let's actually go to that outing here against the Reds. I mean, luckily the offense was really showing up there. But he got the win. But even he would say himself, not his best stuff. 6 innings, 8 hits, very hittable, leaving a lot of stuff over the plate. This is a guy where he's very good at just hitting those corners, going outside, going inside, going different pitches outside, inside. That's, just with the stuff that he has as well. That's what makes Garrett Crochet so good. But he was just leaving a lot of stuff over the plate in his last outing. So let's see if he gets that cleaned up a little bit. Give him 8 hits overall, 5 earned, 9 strikeouts though. So that was a good thing. He was getting a lot of hits, or giving up a lot of hits. The stuff was still looking good for the most part. So with this Nationals offense, really, you're looking at James Wood at this point, CJ Abrams, Garcia's a pretty decent bat, but Crochet should be able to hold his own here tomorrow. This should be a sweep. The only thing I'm curious about is, what is the Red Sox lineup going to look like? That's the only thing I'm very curious to see. But will it matter all that much? Because it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we have, well, he already made his Major League debut a little bit ago, back in 2022. 4 1/3, Cade Cavalli. But then he ended up getting surgery, and he's only just making his way back here recently. Now, if we go back to his minor league numbers, now remember, he was the 22nd overall pick back in 2020. I think a lot of people forget about that draft. Remember, Garrett Crochet, actually, funny enough, both these guys were drafted in the first round back in 2020. So it's a fun little storyline right there. And so far this year, in the minors, 12 starts, 50 innings, 4.32 ERA, FIP a little bit better. He's done a good job at keeping the ball in the yard. Decent strikeout rate. The walk's a little high, but hey, I think you could pretty much say, I already know he made his Major League debut already, but that was like a few years ago. I think this is kind of like a do-over for Cade Cavalli. Now, here's the scouting report on Baseball America coming into this year. He was ranked number 7 in the national system. Scouting report. When healthy, Cavalli has one of the top fastballs in the Nationals organization. The pitch was touching triple digits prior to surgery, but sat closer to 96 in his brief work in 2024. Cavalli's mid-80s curveball is a plus to near plus pitch. His changeup and slider are works in progress, with the latter being closer to MLB ready. Cavalli has shown average control when healthy. You're looking at, really at this point, a guy that is going to have 2 pitches. He's a little predictable at this point, right? Let me get back to what they were saying here. Changeup, slider, work in progress. It looks like the slider could be something that he utilizes here tomorrow. But I wonder, could this be a guy where he comes out with some gas, some good stuff in the first couple of innings, but maybe the Red Sox start to figure him out, get through that lineup one time, second time through the lineup, maybe start to see the Red Sox do some damage, in the 3rd and the 4th inning. Cavalli, good frame, 6'4", good fastball, curveball. Yeah, but let's see, how deep is he going to go into this game as well? That's another thing. So, should be a fun matchup. I'm excited for it. Obviously, there is nothing to work off of with Cavalli here. But against Garrett Crochet, they've had a few guys get a look at him, right? Adams, Lowe, Rosario, Ruiz, Young, but nothing really. I'm expecting a win here tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. If this is not a sweep tomorrow, I'm going to be a little grumpy, in my opinion. No disrespect to the Nationals, no disrespect to Cade Cavalli, but this is one that you should win. You got the War Pig on the mound against pretty much a guy, he's making his Major League debut. Let's just say that. He's getting a do-over on it. Let's just call it that. You got to go win this one. You got to sweep this one. Taking a look at the the updated standings here. The Red Sox are now ahead of the Angels. They have now leapfrogged. Remember, they were behind a few of these teams here. They were behind the Angels, the Rangers, the Twins. I think they were behind the Royals at one point, but now they're back to 500. They're just on the outside looking in. Look at the Yankees. That's another thing. We haven't even talked about this, ladies and gentlemen. The Blue Jays are leading the division. What the heck is going on in Yankee land, for crying out loud? The Yankees not playing good baseball as of late. 3-7 in the last 10. Blue Jays, they've been red hot here. They're 9-1 in the last 10. This is what happens when you get hot. All of a sudden, the Blue Jays could be leading the division. Pretty crazy. The Red Sox, They hit that rough stretch a little bit ago, but looks like they're on a good one now. So we do have a little bit of news. Nice little update from Alex Cora. If you're watching this on Nesson, if you do want to see that story, you got to come over to Monster Territory on YouTube because we are out of time on Nesson. I am sorry about that. But come over to YouTube. Come catch the rest of the show. We're going to be talking a little Masataka Yoshida. It looks like he's getting close to a return. But Nesson viewers, that's all I got for now. We'll see you tomorrow for the Game 3 post-game recap. All right, let's get to it here, everybody. Here we go. Masataka Yoshida. What's going on with Masataka Yoshida? He's been doing all the sightseeing. He's been taking all the pictures. But here we go. It looks like we are on the brink. 1 second here. It looks like we are on the brink. Masataka Yoshida is coming back here soon. Now, remember, he did go on a rehab assignment this past week. He's got a couple of hits along the way. He's even been taking reps at first base. That's more of an emergency kind of a situation, but the guy is 5'8", and he is taking reps at first base. You got to love it. I love that. But Alex Cora talking about Massa, saying that, Massa said he's feeling 100% after playing in the Woo Sox outfield. So he has gotten some playing time in the outfield here. Now, says here, bearing any setbacks, Yoshida's season debut is imminent. Red Sox manager Alex Cora told reporters Saturday that they expect to activate Yoshida during next week's homestand before the All-Star break. Could that be the next series here? We'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if they activated him for the series right before or maybe the couple of series. Let's go to the Red Sox schedule here. Here we go. So we got the Rockies coming up next. I mean, this could be a good time to maybe bring Yoshida back. You got 4 against the Rays. Well, the Rays are playing some good baseball this year, so that's going to be a tough series. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you want to bring him back against some dreadful Rockies pitching to maybe get him back into the swing of things. I mean, the Rays, they're going to come out and pitch pretty well. So we'll see. But also, listen, we haven't really heard, we've been hearing about Bregman, that he could come back before the All-Star break, but it seems like the last couple of days they're being a bit more quiet about it. Again, I've said this a couple of times. I wonder if they bring him back that series before. You got a good 4 games, right? I wonder if that's what they end up doing. I don't think it hurts for these guys to get some ABs before the All-Star break because you're going to get a nice little bit of time off there, and then you go to Chicago, you go to Wrigley Field to open up the second half. So, but these guys, I can't wait for these guys to come back. I really can't, man, because when you're looking at this lineup, I mean, obviously, and you've been seeing what they've been able to do here over the last week or so. I mean, they're scoring a lot of runs. You got to love it. But the fact that you're getting these guys back, I think that's great. Just adds to it. Now, the question is, we've talked about this a lot, what is going to happen with Massa when it comes to playing time? That's something people were talking about. Well, I mean, people have been talking about it, but now that he's, imminent here, he's officially on his way back in the next week. Now people are starting to wonder, all right, where are you going to put him? Well, DH, yeah. I think you're going to see him get a little bit of time in the outfield. They're going to do a big rotation here. I mean, they got 5 guys for, or is my math right? You got Duran, Roman, Willier, Seti, and Massa. We got 5 guys for 4 spots. So, I mean, you're going to be doing some kind of a rotation. I think Massa is more so going to be part-time at this point, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing coming back from injury. Play a game, sit a game, play a game, sit a game, But I do think a trade is going to happen at some point. I really do. I don't see how you can go with that for the rest of the year. I've talked about this. I think Durant is probably going to end up getting moved. I'd be surprised if Willier was moved at this point because he has, in my opinion, more upside with the bat, and he has another year of control over Durant, along with the fact that he's cheaper. That's where the financial things come into play. Durant is going to be making more money here over the next few years with arbitration. And they have the club option for him for $8 million for next year if they wanted to exercise that. So I feel like Durant is going to end up getting moved. That's just the way I see it. I know he had the triple today. I don't know, but then I see the argument for Willier as well. You know, do the Red Sox want to keep the speed, or do they, you know, with Durant, with his numbers coming back down, do they feel, okay, this is a good chance for us to move on from Durant at this point? And with his speed, he could definitely help out some teams out there. You know, we'll see. But they can't roll with 5 outfielders for 4 spots. 3 in the outfield, 1 the DH. You can't fully do that. Could they try to move Massa? Could they see if there would be a taker? Maybe they use this as a bit of a showcase for him, and maybe if he's hitting well, could someone make a phone call about Yoshida? Maybe the Red Sox just eat some of the money. Could they do that? Sure. But would teams out there want Yoshida? I mean, I don't know. That's where the contract comes into play. How much of the contract would another team out there want the Red Sox to eat? Would the Red Sox want to eat that much just to get a player off their team? I'll leave open the possibility for it. You know, I think if you could go throughout this season with Duran, Willier, Roman, and Seti sharing those 4 spots, I mean, I think that's very good. I'm not going to hate if Massa ends up being with the team. I think what he brings to the table is exactly what the Red Sox need right now. A guy that, even though, sure, they have been limiting the strikeouts here over the last couple of games. Willier doesn't strike out. He's got good plate discipline. Or not Willier, sorry, Massa. He doesn't strike out. He's got good plate discipline. I think that's something for the Red Sox lineup that would be very good right now. This could go with a lot of different ways. You know, we'll see. We'll see. But I think someone is going to end up getting moved at some point. I don't think they're going to DFA Massa. I don't see that happening. Only time will tell. My prediction right now, and my predictions are wrong a lot, but I'm going to say it's going to be Durant. That's what I think is going to end up happening. We will see. Everybody, I'm going to wrap it up right there. I want to say thank you for coming out here today for the post-game coverage. If you can on the way out, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're very close to 4K subscribers. We'll be back here tomorrow night for the Game 3 post-game recap. Thank you again, everybody. Go enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow.